Alright guys, ooh, wow, excuse me. Right, so what you just seen me doing is I've done a bit of code cleanup, I've done a bit of refactoring, I've created empty classes for the chase camera, the free camera and the orbit camera. If I switch back to Visual Studio, you can see we've now got our asset scripts camera controllers folder, and that's got a camera controller base, which is this class here, which contains all of the stuff that's shared between camera controllers, and one in particular is this controller enabled ball. Excuse me. We then got chase camera, which, as you can see, doesn't do anything. It does have these if controller is not enabled return in both the update and the fixed update, and all of them now have that. So if I switch to free camera, you can see I've added that in there. So what that will do is, if this current camera is not enabled, it will not process any updates, right? So then we've also got the orbit camera. The orbit camera is exactly the same as the chase camera at the moment. It doesn't have any implementation other than it won't run if it's disabled. Okay, so then what we've got is we've got this camera switcher, which is a mono behavior. It has pointers to the chase camera, the free camera and the orbit camera, which we're setting up here. If I just make a bit more screen room. Oops. And if I zoom in a little bit as well. So basically what we're doing is we're getting the main camera in the scene, and we are getting the component chase camera, saving a pointer to it there, doing that for all of them. Oops. Then what we're doing is we're calling this switch to method, and we're passing in the string free even, which I've not figured out a better way of doing this. As far as I understand it, with the events, because I'm using this as an event handler, it has to be void, and it can only take a string and int and a ball, I think. So basically what I've now got is I've got this string mode being passed into the switch to function. We've got a switch on mode. That might also not be very efficient, I'm not sure. It's very rarely going to get clicked though. And we're setting, if it's free, we're logging it to the console. We're setting the free controller to true, controller enabled on the free controller to true. And we're setting controller enabled on the others to false. Likewise for the others, we're setting the respective one true and the others false. Right. So then that's what we've got in Visual Studio. If we jump back into Unity and grab my main camera, on the main camera we have, oops, if I just minimize these. We've got the camera switcher script, which is what's handling our event handling. We've got the chase camera script, which doesn't do anything at the moment. We've got the free camera controller script, which does everything that we had previously. And then we've got the orbit camera, which also, like the chase camera, doesn't do anything. So then in my camera GUI, which is this little thing down here, we've got the free orbit and chase buttons. In there we have 3 buttons, button free cam, button all cam, button chase cam, and in each of those the on click event is tied up to the camera switcher switch to function, method rather, which is camera switcher switch to, this one here, right? And what we're doing is we're passing in the string value there. It would be really nice if you could pass in like an enumerator or something. I didn't want to just put in 1, 2 and 3 because that would be confusing from looking at this, which mode it's switching to. Yeah, so then if I run this, we should be able to start out, and we've got the free mode. I seem to have got, I seem to have reintroduced my twistingness. Have I? Did I not disable that when we did the previous look at this? Anyway, so we're in free mode, and you can see that free mode is indeed working. If I switch to orbit mode, we get a bit of debug up here saying that we're now in orbit mode, and hopefully it's not processing it. It is processing input, but it's not doing anything, is what's happening. But the free camera mode is disabled, and if I click back on free, we get the debug message switch to free, and I can now move in free mode. Okay, so that's awesome. So this leads to some interesting ideas for like gameplay point of view. What do we want to do when we switch from free mode to orbit mode? Orbit mode doesn't currently have a target, so what do we want to do? Do we want to switch to Do we want to orbit the switch the goal to the player's ship and zoom in on that? That would make sense. If there's from this little menu here, anyway, that would make a lot of sense. From like a right-click menu, if I right-clicked on one of these cubes and said look at or orbit camera, we'd want it to target that, but that's like another event that we'd be dealing with. Chase camera makes sense that would always go to the chase position behind the player's ship. I can't really see any reason why we'd want to do that. Do otherwise with that, we'd probably use the free camera or the orbit camera if we are doing like a following camera behind an enemy ship or another player's ship. What we'd want is the current player, the player's ship. The chase cam is for flying, as you saw in the other demo, right? So yeah, I think that's what we can do. One thing I guess I need to do is highlight which one on here is currently selected. There is I did watch a YouTube video with the animation system to work out how you do the how you can animate the button changes when you click them. I guess I should do that, or the camera switch to event could probably colour in the right buttons. Yeah, okay, so that's loads of stuff we can do there. But the general thing of it is working. Yeah. Okay guys, thanks for watching. This was just a very quick video just showing the current kind of latest work on the camera class, or on the camera system rather. This is like a whole subsystem. What I'm going to do is I've started the start of the work on the polar coordinate vector 3s. So I've got a new class called Polar3, which is basically the idea is it's the same as a vector 3, but it does it works in polar coordinates with like angle, azimuth, angle, elevation, and radius, rather than in like Cartesian space with like top, front, backwards, side to side, up, down. So I've got the start of that. I'm going to do a separate video on that though, so if you join me for that, that'd be great. Cool. Alright, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.